Becky Songa, the online video marketer, and welcome to another edition of the Business Video Success Series. Now, in our last episode, which was titled Change is Good for Business, I illustrated the point of changing things by showing you some video bloopers I recorded last year as I had issues with pronouncing the former name of my series, The Real Report, which I often said Rear Report. Now, if you missed it, you can check it out now. I also introduced the idea that you should regularly take a look at what you are doing in business, and especially your videos, that could be changed or manipulated to help you be more successful. Now, after releasing the episode, one of my current coaching clients, Christine, wrote me an email to ask me a question about a business change she's considering. Before I read it to you, let me tell you a little bit about Christine's business. Christine was working at a large business in the communications department, and although there were several people on her staff, they often hired outside marketing consultants to help with new or large marketing campaigns. So Christine was pretty familiar with the hourly rates marketing consultants in her area were making. Now, after working for about 5 years at this company, Christine took a maternity leave, and when she returned to the public workforce, she decided to branch off on her own as a marketing consultant. So, let me read you Christine's question. Dear Becky, I just finished watching your last episode of The Rear Report and first episode of the new Business Video Success Series, which was very funny. But it got me thinking. Over the last quarter, I've networked with a lot of businesses, mostly small businesses and solo entrepreneurs. I had a lot of interest and was being asked to submit estimates and bids on several projects, but I'm dismayed by the conversions into sales. Many of the businesses told me they would like to work with me in the future, but they didn't have the budget to do it at the moment. So I've been thinking about changing my rates and pricing tiers. What do you think? Thanks, Christine M. Now, these are common messages received by service professionals that I've worked with, and it's certainly something I've heard as well. Messages like, I can't afford it, or I don't have the budget for that right now, or thanks for your estimate, I didn't realize it was going to cost so much, and I'll have to wait until I have the money. First of all, when you hear these comments, I want you to remember that you're selling the value that you're representing, not the price. And generally speaking, the companies that can't afford you are probably the ones that need you the most. But knowing that and even telling your prospects that won't necessarily help you close a sale. So it of course makes one wonder if our prices are too high and if we'll have to lower them to get the business that we need and want. There's 3 things I want you to consider before lowering your rates. First is the income level that you need to do the things that you want to in your life, and that it needs to include your personal and your business income. The second thing is competition. And the third thing is target market. Those 3 factors together will help you know how to set your pricing. So, if you're curious about how these 3 factors can influence your prices, then watch the next edition of the Business Video Success Series. In it, I'm going to go into depth about how to consider your rates based on the income that you want to make. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Becky Songa, the online video marketer.